Welcome back. Now what we need to do is that we need to get a movie by ID from the database. And the good news is that now the IDs are not going to be we aren't going to rely on the IDs of the array because now in the database the situation is different. In the database, each single movie will have an ID that is given by the database automatically. So it doesn't matter where that element or that movie exists in the array that will be returned. It doesn't matter because each movie will have a unique ID, whether that be 100, 1000, 99, it doesn't matter. Because by using that ID, we can get that specific movie rather than using a random ID and using because if we are relying on the array or list index, we would have to just pass a random ID to get a random movie, and we don't want that. Instead, by using the database, we will be able to get a certain movie by using its ID. Because as you can see, if we return all of the movies, each single movie will have a unique ID. For example, Joker has 1, Batman has 2, Ice Age has 3. It doesn't matter that ID, but if we use that ID, we can get that movie. So now let's use this endpoint that we already have to get that specific movie. So now what we need to do is that we need to follow the same procedure or steps that we already have followed in the first endpoint. Here we need to create an SQL command. We need to say SQL is equal to, and then we need to say select. Now instead of saying select, instead of saying select all, we need to say select all, but we need to specify the movie ID. So we need to say select all from movies. However, now we need to add a condition, and the condition is going to be the movie ID. So we need to say select all from movies where ID is equal to, and then percentage S, and that's it. Now this percentage S represents a blank, and we need to fill this blank with the movie ID. So in a new line, what I'm going to do in a new line is that I'm going to create a variable. I'm going to create a variable called val, which is going to be equal to a tuple. It's also called a tuple in Python. And then I'm going to pass the movie ID. I'm going to say movie ID and then comma. So this is the syntax. This is the correct syntax. And this is going to be now, we can use this to fill this blank, which is the movie ID. So in a new line, we need to say my cursor, and then execute. And then what we want to execute is that we want to execute the SQL command. However, we need to fill the blank. To fill the blank, we need to pass the val. So this execute function takes two parameters. The first parameter is the SQL, and the second parameter is the piece of data that we want to fill the command with. So the command has only one blank, which is the this S, percentage S, and we need to fill it with the movie ID, which is the value. And that's it. Now, after this, we need to execute this. We need to, after we execute this, we need to get the result. To get the result, we need to say my cursor dot fetch all, and we need to store this in a variable called movie. So movie is going to be equal to my cursor fetch all, and finally we return that movie. We return movie. However, the fetch all returns an array of arrays. So we need to get only the only element, and the only element has an index of 0. So we can say return movie of 0, which is going to return the only element of this array. Now let me save and test. I'm going to click on save all, and let me head on over to the browser to test. In the browser now, let me refresh, and let me click on movie ID, And now let me click on try it out, and let's use a movie ID. Let's pass a movie ID. So for example, if we want to get Ice Age, we would have to pass 3. Let me say here 3. If I click on execute, as you can see, what I'm going to get is that I'm going to get Ice Age. Ice Age 2014, Ice Age animals seeking new adventures, so it's working perfectly.